to Mad Screen Media Reviews. Today I got something pretty great for you. It's been out for a little while already, but you know what? I wanted to be very complete with it. I wanted to go through everything that's on it. There's a ton of extra features, 2 cuts of the movie. I am bringing you Bride of the Re-Animator. As you can see here, features lovely artwork with a nice arrow logo down below there. Once you take off the shrink wrap, this basically is just an outer slip. It comes right off. It's got a little piece of tape right there, easily to come off. I like to leave it on there just so it's part of the artwork. But you do get to feature, Dr. West, Meg, Monster Lady, whatever you want to call her. The wonderful logo artwork. It's raised. It's got nice texture to it. On the back, you get the eyeball finger creature, which is one of the big highlights of the movie. Inside, looks like that. Just slides right out. Really easy, really smooth. You have this piece. You have the main booklet here featuring just some stellar artwork. And it opens up like so. You have both cuts of the film, unrated, rated, with a bonus disc in the back. In the side here, you have what looks like a nice little wedding invitation set up. Advertising arrows, 3-disc set, the director approved logo on there, and as well as the comic book prequel, Re-Animator, Dawn of the Re-Animator, which I will showcase in just a second. Also includes this lovely booklet featuring more classic artwork from the original release of the film, with pictures from the film, as well as a fantastic essay by Michael Blythe, Here Comes the Bride. A great read. Takes a little while to get into, but it's definitely worth it. Also included in this package is the Re-Animator, Dawn of Re-Animator graphic novel comic book, which is absolutely beautiful. Great read, a lot of fun. However, because of the binding, it is very narrow. It tends to crease in the side, so I have not actually read this yet, as I want to preserve the look and feel of this as best I can. I'm actually on the hunt for individual copies of it now. As you can see, it's just awesome to have all this material in its own box set. But what did I think about the movie itself? I'm going to have to meet you over there. Released about 4 years after the first film, Bride of the Re-Animator picks up about 8 months later, and we find Dr. Herbert West, Jeffrey Combs, and his cohort, Dr. Dan King, played again by Bruce Abbott, in Peru, helping assist in some sort of Civil War uprising. We don't exactly know what the hell's going on down there. But they're supposed to be there to provide medical aid for the soldiers, but what in fact they're actually doing is continuing Dr. Herbert West's screwy experiments about bringing the dead back to life with his Re-Animator serum, which I had a glowy needle right now. Just when they're making a major breakthrough with their Re-Animator serum and figuring out how to bring people back from the dead without making them go insane, they need to evacuate, which makes it the perfect time for them to go back to the Miskatonic Institute. Now, while they're there, of course, things aren't exactly as cut and dry as they thought they would be. First off, Dr. Dan King's got a bit of a crush on Gloria, his cancer patient who's dying, played here by Kathleen Kinmont. He sees in her a vulnerability, someone that he can connect with. Even though she's completely mute for most of this time, he still falls in love with her. Meanwhile, Dr. Herbert West is going forward with his experiments. He's not really progressing anywhere. He's more like he's just screwing around. He's taking little bits and pieces of amputations home, eyeballs, fingers, limbs, legs, and he's discovered that he actually doesn't need a complete body to reanimate these various parts. He can just stick the serum in there and the little fingers will come back to life. It's a great moment in the film, and a lot of the humor that can be found throughout Bride of the Re-Animator is located there. As a whole, I give this movie about 3.5 out of 5. It seems like the real purpose of the movie to exist is just to have more gore effects, which are incredibly, incredibly amazing. When they bring back the Bride of Re-Animator creature, Gloria, with the heart of Meg, Dan's former lover from the first film, it's actually a very poignant, it's a very sweet moment of the film, and it features some spectacular gore effects. Tissue rejection is all I'm going to say further on that point. There's a really very weird moment where Dr. Hill from the first film comes back, the severed head guy that so wonderfully was featured in the first film. I'm not going to say any more about that. If you haven't seen Re-Animator, why are you watching this? You need to see that film first. Dr. Hill's involvement in the movie is very bizarre because he's just a head, and there's very little that he can do, so I don't exactly understand why he's here. It's just a part of the movie that just didn't connect plot structure wise. It offers up some crazy fun visual effects later on towards the climax of the movie, but I can't really go into that because, again, like I said, it's the climax. I don't like to give away endings of films. It's not my favorite. It's certainly not Brian Usna's best, but it's not his worst either. I enjoy it strictly because of the gore, and I feel like this film found its truly genuine sense of humor, where Re-Animator had a great sense of humor to it, but it was a little more subtle. It wasn't as sharp. This one has a lot sharper sense of humor. And Jeffrey Combs is always amazing. I can't get enough watching that guy in horror movies. He's the best. What more can you say? Arrow Video knocked this release out of the park as far as I'm concerned. You have both cuts of the film, the unfortunately very neutered R-rated cut, as well as the exceptionally gory, vastly more interesting unrated cut. The unrated cut isn't just more gore, it also has a lot more character moments to the film that actually helps round it out and make it a better movie. The first time I ever saw this film was the R-rated cut, and quite frankly, I didn't enjoy it at all. I didn't understand what the point of it was, I just couldn't get into it. Then later I discovered the unrated cut, and I was like, oh, this is actually something that's pretty good and watchable. I can get behind this movie now. On top of that, you get a whole slew of extra features, which you can take a look at right there, located on each disc of the film. It's just a parade of content in this release that you just can't get enough of. I love it for that. Picture quality, it's a 3.5 out of 5. It's very good, especially for a catalog release of this stature. The problem is the theatrical cut material looks pretty good, very stable, nice grain field, very detailed. Colors are very rich and vibrant, particularly primaries and reds, so gore really spurts out and does its job. The problem comes in when you look at the unrated cut. While most of the film looks very good, the missing footage that has been reinserted into the movie can be a lot rougher. All of a sudden, noise in the grain field becomes a lot more prominent. Black levels fluctuate a little bit more. Colors aren't quite as tweaked together to match as they should, so it becomes a little bit abrasive. Like, it can become a bit jarring in certain sequences when a shot that looks one way all of a sudden looks like this, and you're just trying to keep it comfortable, keep it even, but overall it's still very, very good. Audio quality, it's a 5 out of 5. It's fantastic across the board. No matter which cut of the film you look at, it's just beautiful. On top of that, the richer band score that so wonderfully and slyly rips off the Psycho themes just comes through with absolute clarity on this one. It's a great little score. It's a little bit more plucky and playful with its themes this time around. Like, as the movie itself, it's just a funnier, without being intentionally comedic, film. So on that end, it's awesome. What more can you say about Bride of the Re-Animator from Arrow Video? It's a fantastic release. I've just started getting into their catalog of releases here in the United States, and so far, in my opinion, this is the best release that they've pumped out. It offers you hours and hours of content between both cuts of the film and all of the extra features that I just previously mentioned. And on top of that, it's Bride of the Re-Animator. If they could give Re-Animator the same treatment, and we could all retire those rather tragic first-round Blu-ray releases, I would be extremely, extremely happy with that. And quite frankly, I'm so happy that beyond Scream Factory and a couple of other side studios, that there's just one more company out there that's producing fantastic releases for really good genre content. If you can still locate this limited edition set, I strongly, strongly recommend it. I know it's starting to go for quite a bit out there on the gray market, but if you can locate it, do so. And that's all I have for you today with this release of Bride of the Re-Animator from Arrow Video. I hope you found today's segment interesting and informative and help you make a good purchase decision. Remember, keep your media physical. I'll catch you guys next time.